Off the Beaten Path takes you to the world's most awesome destinations to see it from a local perspective. Discover amazing heritage and great culture you can't see as a tourist. Take the road less traveled to Old Mexico in Riviera Nayarit.
I want you to feel that our house is your house.
Our journey begins in Nuevo Vallarta at two very unique places in beautiful Banderas Bay, a Bengal tiger sanctuary and an extreme dolphin adventure.
Each day is an adventure. You know, you never know what's going to happen, which always makes it exciting.
We have a different variety of animals. Our tigers are our main animals that we have.
Professor Pedro Gonzalez is an esteemed expert on Mexico's history. He explains early history and culture in Nayarit. The natives near Banderas Bay date back to 5,000 years ago.
In Banderas Bay, a pre-Columbian port where the settlers of this region had contact with other cultures in Panama, in Peru, and Colombia, and these are pre-Hispanic cultures.
We drive northeast of Tepic to the remote Agua Milpa Dam and Lake. We take a boat to a community of Huichol indigenous people, unconquered by the Spanish.
Welcome to Tahuachica, the place of the sun. My name is Silao Valadez. ¿Qué petitewa?
Ernestina.
Ernestina, Silao ni metetitewa.
Electricidad no hay, ni es electricidad, es luz solar con panal. En unas cuantas casas nada más de panal.
Next stop is lush San Blas, a tropical harbor town that is historically significant. This charming area is home to a mix of culture. Long ago, Native Americans flourished here.
It was found a village 3,000 years before Christ, which is one of the oldest villages in all of the Pacific coast of the American continent.
It is a bountiful area with excellent natural resources. It was important to the early locals, and later, it was a major trading hub. It also had a strategic fort used for Spanish missions,
which was the most militarized and fortified ports in the Spanish colony.
San Blas is very much like typical small-town Mexico. It's almost a perfect mix in that there's just enough tourism to provide good hotels and good restaurants, so you have a bit of tourism infrastructure, but the tourists never outnumber the locals. It's still a fishing village at heart. It's one of the top destinations for bird watching in the world, and I love the town. It's a great little place. This is all mangrove swamp here, right on this part of the estuary. We are very close to the ocean. The mouth of this estuary is only about 1.5 kilometers downstream from here. And so this is all water that is very salty. There's not very much fresh water here. And these mangroves here are red mangroves. It's the most salt tolerant of the mangroves.
The Vasquez family pioneered the sleepy San Blas landmark, Hotel Garza Canela. The Cordon Bleu school-trained chef Betty Vasquez entertains with masterful local dishes.
Welcome everybody to my kitchen at San Blas, at Hotel Garza Canela. We are in a tropical area and we harvest through the year lots of fruit. Bananas are all year round, papayas and melon. Chiles, we have different kinds of chiles in Mexico. Mango is on the season now and it's 5 months of season. We have in the area of Riviera Nayarit about 7 types of mangoes. And then we are going to use some herbs that we grow in our garden and some spices that has been coming through the area from all over the world.
Early San Blas openly traded with the Philippines and China, which influenced Mexico's food.
We learn to integrate the ingredients in our cooking. We have seafood. Why seafood? We are on the coastline of Riviera Nayarit. We have fresh fish, we have fresh scallop, fresh shrimps.
We visit the ancient island of Mexcaltitan. It's believed Aztec tribes from here migrated to the Mexico City area and founded their great civilization.
On history, there is signs that Mezcaltitan was here 700 BC, and as a foundation of proper city, it's 1530 after BC.
The ruins of Ixtlan del Rio is an ancient Toltec archaeological site uncovered in 1948. Its circular pyramid is the centerpiece and only one found in western Mexico.
This archaeological site is known as Los Toriles from Ixtlan del Rio. Archaeologists believe that this settlement was built between 400 and 800 after Christ.
The Spanish fort in San Blas supported significant trading of goods in colonial Mexico. The settling of California's missions by Junipero Serra and others were based from here.
Between 1812 and 1820, the Spaniards took San Blas again, did a lot of trade with the Orient, became very rich.
The town is set on a peninsula between two estuaries, and these mangrove swamps, which cover over 100,000 acres in and around the San Blas area, are home to crocodiles and turtles and all kinds of animals, to jaguars, and probably about 300 species of birds that use these habitats. Here's an osprey that looks like he has a fish. Well, osprey is in its own family. It's related to hawks and eagles, of course, and the Spanish name is Águila pescador, the fishing eagle.
Riviera Nairit's rich coastline produces succulent seafood. Fish is harvested, prepared, and it's eaten raw, especially in the hot and densely humid summer months.
There are more than 300 ways of preparing ceviche only in Mexico. And we are going to make small cubes in order to make our first ceviche. And the first thing we are going to do is adding some salt and pepper. And we are using Persian limes. We don't use one that is very bitter. We are going to use as an ingredient to marinate also rice vinegar. We are going to use orange juice, little amount of onion, and some cilantro. And we are going to use jalapeno peppers, just a little bit of peppers. We are going to use tequila. The ceviche is already cooking because the fish is already changing the color. Let's put extra tequila in the glass.
The structures of Ixtlan del Rio once housed a great plaza for ceremonial and civil activities. The area was mined for and named after its abundance and use of obsidian.
The component of the archaeological site are plazas, temples, altars, and palaces. What we're going to see is only 20% of what was the great settlement. In Nahuatl, it's called a momostle, which is an altar or adoratory. There were no sacrifices done, but offerings were done.
This is a village that is open for tourists. They still speak their own language. They don't seem to be that influenced because there's not even a church here.
Our native Huichol host, Ernestina, gives a tour of her austere village. Homes are made of adobe brick and thatch roofs, and there are only a few modern amenities here.
¿Cómo te diviertes aquí?
Pues cuando hay gente, visitante, pues cuando uno está solo, pues está triste, no hay diversión, pero sí cuando hay gente, así platicamos todo.
¿Y las ceremonias también?
Sí, también. Y que metí bebé va.
It's made out of adobe, making usage of earth.
Primero metí así.
And using some donkey and cow dung.
Y ya metí, acarrean agua, así y...
They bring some water in and use some straw.
Me pico jabilla.
And then they put it on blocks, and it's used to make their houses, as you can see around here.
En así tentajuni.
This is the market of the local artwork. This is also where they do their ceremonies. And it's all the stuff that is, all the art craft that it's made by making usage of pre-Columbian techniques that still remain alive.
Mexcaltitan is a designated Mexican heritage site that can be reached only by boat. Legend states it's the ancestral birthplace of the Aztecs prior to settling inland.
These 7 tribes, and the most important are the Mexica or Aztecs, came from this city called Aztlán, the place of herons. The year 1100 after Christ, the migrations of these cultures started to walk towards the center of Mexico.
It's home to about 2,000 residents and has no motorized vehicles except for the boats.
They are born and raised here, and the 75% of the population works being fishermen.
The island's quaint museum protects artifacts and pottery of the area's early inhabitants.
They have pottery that comes from 500 years after Christ until 1500. Son piezas originales.
Sí, todas.
They are all original pieces.
Por eso están bajo llave.
That's why they are under lock.
Coming up, the only interactive dolphin experience of its kind in the world.
I've been roped in a little bit here to get the chance to swim with a bunch of dolphins. It's going to be extremely fun.
La Tovar National Park in San Blas is a protected mangrove and marshland with exotic birds. It's also home to many crocodiles, with a farm to breed the beasts.
This is a river crocodile. It's a subspecies of the American crocodile that is quite common here in the mangroves. They were hunted almost to extinction, and because of that, there's now a small crocodile farm here that has reintroduced these crocodiles to these mangroves. It's an important predator in the ecosystem here. Very large animals. Keep your hands inside the boat.
Huichol work the land and practice shamanism. Corn, blue deer, peyote, and the eagle are revered, which descended from their sun god. They're also very skilled artists.
This is the market where they gather together to offer their art crafts. What she's wearing here is a traditional beaded necklace, and they use a technique that has been passed down through generations. Back in times they used to use, instead of the beads, they used to use seeds, seashells, and stones, but the same technique. But now in modern times we make usage of the beads. This outfit is the traditional outfit of the Wixárika woman, which is the Huichol woman. Up here you have the deer, which is also a very important element on our culture. It's named marra on our language. And the marra, what it does, it said that the antlers receive all the answers that the shamans are seeking from the universe.
Unlike other Mesoamerican sites, no human sacrifices were done at Los Chiriles. The large palaces were the ritualistic center for the people of the surrounding area.
The culture that built this settlement are known by as the Aztlán, that come from the Toltec Nahuatl tribes. This is a great palace in the form of an L. Mainly it was religious, administrative, and civil. There was civilization here until the time of the Spanish conquest. It's the biggest building from the center of the plaza. It has 3 stairways. It has the columns. Archaeologist who made the restoration, his quality was very good, and that's why you can notice it's very well preserved.
is a bare-throated tiger heron, one of the exotic species that we find here that's not found in the temperate zones in the United States. In the evenings especially, the males will begin to make a croaking call, which adds a very exotic effect.
Nayarit was rich in minerals like gold and silver, which drove early trading. Spices were brought here from the Orient too, giving the area's cuisine a worldly tastiness.
A very important trade started to be created between Manila and San Blas. Because of all this silver that was sent to Manila, a lot of spices were brought from the Orient, like nutmeg, like cinnamon.
The Hotel Garza Canela has the warm feeling of quaint old Mexico. El Delfin restaurant is the gathering place for great meals with family and guests alike.
We are going to make a carpaccio of cantaloupe, and we are going to mix it and present it with shrimp that is going to be cooked in Oriental style. We have Europe, we have Asia, and we have America. Just try to be fine cut in your cantaloupe. I'm going to use some ginger, red onion, cilantro, and we are going to use some chile de árbol, which is long and dry, and we are going to use some rice vinegar, some sesame oil, and some soy sauce and lemon. And we are going to start marinating the shrimp. Ready, ready, ready. A little bit of the chives on top of the cantaloupe will bring also freshness to your dish. I hope you enjoy it.
Over 40 species of dolphin are among the smartest animals. They are playful, and the Dolphin Extreme Adventure has humans and dolphins swimming together.
We have 22 bottlenose dolphins and 10 South American sea lions. People come and get in the water with the animals. They learn about them, how amazing they are, how important it is to protect their environments. And we make it entertaining and educational for the guests. We feed them a lot of fish every day. Our largest dolphin, Atlina, she weighs about 260 kilos and she eats around about 26 kilos of fish a day, which is a lot. I'm not sure how many Big Macs that is, I forget.
Swam underneath the water with them, rode them, hung on to their fins. They took us under. It was just fabulous.
Coming up, a one-of-a-kind round pyramid and face-to-face with Bengal tigers.
There was a drug bust somewhere in Mexico, and a tiger was found.
Mariano Valadez is one of Mexico's top folk artists. The art he produces is striking and vibrant. It's inspired by experiences and symbolism from his proud indigenous roots.
We are descendants from the Mexicas, known in the modern times as the Aztecs. We're one of the only tribes in Mexico that still speaks their own language, has their own way of living, a culture. My father, it's a full Huichol-blooded.
La comunidad de donde yo dependo, de allí aprendí todo eso, lo que están pintados en los cuadros. Y todo lo que está dibujado ya viene en la mente porque está en la cultura.
Their artwork is primarily yarn paintings. The colorful creations are composed with a wooden platform that is covered in beeswax, in which the yarn adheres to.
I make usage of the symbolism and the Huichol knowledge itself, but I also try to attach the painting to the person that commissioned the piece. It's like a calendar. You can flip it different ways, and each one reflects like the 24-hour cycle of the day. It reflects the 4 seasons of the year. It's also the equinox. It's happening here because it's moon, earth, and sun line up together.
The peaceful jungle boat ride on the La Tuvara waterways underscores the beautiful yet formidable setting where scores of wildlife live. Its bounty sustained past natives.
The indigenous communities that lived here would make their villages on islands or hilltops around the mangrove swamps, and the men would come down into the swamps here to fish and hunt and gather food, and this is the kind of camp where they would have lived. This is the green iguana, one of two species we have here. It looks like a large female. The males of the green iguanas are actually orange. This is the rufous-bellied chachalaca, which is an endemic bird here to the West Mexican area. Here up ahead, sunning on a log, we have a brown river turtle. Again, as the day warms, many of these cold-blooded creatures come out of the water to warm up their system. It helps them digest all the food they've been eating all morning down under the water.
Surrounded by water, the canoe is Mexcaltitan's lifeline for transport and food.
The original boat here is called canoa, which is made from wood. This boat was replaced by fiberglass boats with motors.
A tasty traditional preparation of fish is cooked on an open wood fire and was offered to the crew.
It was the easiest way to cook it on a grill made by mangrove woods. The only ingredients besides the fish was salt and lemon.
Bengal tigers that are not native to Mexico are successfully bred at the Paradise Village Resort in Nuevo Vallarta. The dolphin extreme swim is also in Banderas Bay.
I think they're an amazing animal. Others feel that they're kind of mystical and that we're connected.
There was a drug bust somewhere in Mexico, and a tiger was found and was brought here to the zoo. It was very sick, very ill, and tried to bring it back to health.
The concept is to have an unstructured, freestyle interaction with the dolphin. Most of the program occurs under the water, which is different to most other dolphin interactive programs around the world.
I thought it was a really interesting experience, how we got to be with the dolphins right in the water.
Right here we have Khan, he's the male, and we have Samantha. And they have produced more babies than I can remember. Khan, he's a lucky man. He gets to go between Juvia and Samantha. They each have a personality. They're different. Some of them are more laid back, some of them are active, more hyper, want to play.
It was just so exciting, and they were so gentle and so nice and kind, and they were smooth. It felt, kind of like a rubber, almost like the wetsuit that I wear. It was pretty impressive just to be in their presence and just how friendly they were. I mean, they almost have like a smile on their face every time you're down there with them.
The Los Toriles round pyramid is unusual, and it stands in honor of the god of wind, an Aztec deity of creation. It was made round so the wind god could enter unimpeded.
First of all, because it's a circular pyramid, and there are not that many in Mexico. Secondly, because it's dedicated to Ehecatl Quetzalcoatl, who is the god of the wind. And thirdly, because the pyramid is right in the center of the full settlement. As you see, there's a path there. It comes from another building. So it's believed that through this path, processions were made to our pyramid where the priests come and left offerings. There was migration towards the center of Mexico, and the few settlers were going to the Sierra, so they were abandoning the place.
Thanks for joining us on our off-the-beaten-path adventure to Riviera Nayarit, Mexico. See you on our next journey, wherever the path may lead us.